Hello and welcome to a new video, and this time we're going to be looking at the updated update to the character wizard. So the latest version of Fantasy Grounds has now been released, and the character wizard has now been completely revised and rewritten by Dominic, more or less from the ground up. So we access it in the same way, but you can see immediately that we've got a completely new look. The first thing we want to look at here is the filter source. If we click on that, then we can see all of the books that we have open that will be available to be used in the character wizard for this particular section here for the race. So we can see we've got the Monsters of the Multiverse Players book, and we've got the D&D Players Handbook here. And if we change over to the class, we've got the same thing, and we can see that we've got the player's handbook and we've got Xanathar's Guide to Everything. We don't have Xanathar's here because Xanathar doesn't have any races in it. So the character wizard is looking to see what assets that you have available, and you can filter on those assets to depending on what you want. And you can see also that we've got campaign here, and if we select campaign, then these are user created races, if you like. So these are things that I've done from a previous video that are still in this particular campaign that I use for making videos. So these would be available if you have them in your campaign and if you wanted to select that. So let's just for the moment select the player's handbook to keep it simple. And have a look at this screen here. We've got a search bar which we can search for. So if you wanted to, if you had a very long list here, you could search for this and that would filter down. But you can see that some of these races have a green cross on the left hand side and some have a red plus on the right hand side. This is the differentiation between these is that the ones that have a red cross have got sub races, and the ones that don't have a red cross, the green ones here, these have no sub races. So if we were to open up the Dragonborn, for example, we can now see all the various sub races that we've got available for Dragonborn, and we just select one of these by clicking on the green cross. Um, this will then lead you to the various ability scores and everything like that that you can get from the thing. It tells you all exactly what it is you do. If we click on any of these, it will open this up and it will give you an indication of what is going on. So there's much more text and much more intuitive help here for all of these various things. It tells you exactly what the Copper Dragonborn breath weapon actually is before you go any further. There's no need to click on a link to open that up. It gives you, it presents you with the information there and then. Let's change this back to something like the dwarf here. And again, we can see that we've got the sub races from the player's handbook, and we've also got our sub race that we've got here from our campaign that we player made. So anyway, let's just click on the hill dwarf here. And actually, let's get a better example than that. Let's go with the half elf, right? Now, when we get to this screen here for the half elf in this particular case, we can see a number of red exclamation marks coming down the left-hand side, and we can see also that if we look up here that there's a red exclamation mark next to the race icon, and this tells us that we haven't finished selecting everything that we need to select. It means that there is something here that we haven't done yet. So these indicate that we need to open up the ability score increase here, and we need to make some choices. And you can see it says here that the charisma score increases by 2 and 2 other ability scores of your choice increase by 1. And we have got a choice box here. If we click on that, we don't see charisma here. Charisma has been filtered out. So if we choose constitution for the first one, if we go to the second one, we can see that constitution has now been filtered out as well as charisma. If we take dexterity, then we are done, and our little warning symbol, our little red exclamation mark, has disappeared from here. We can go back into this at any time. We can change this one to strength, for example. And if we click on this one here, we can see constitution has now reappeared. So we can change that to intelligence. And we can keep doing that. You can change that around. You've got full control as to how you can even change this top one here, which is Tasha's introduced this kind of thing. So you could come back up into here and you could choose a different one from the what the ability score says in the character. Um, we can go down here, we can go age, fey, ancestry. As I said, we can open up all of these to see what it is that they do. And then we come down to our next one here, languages. So again, if we open this up, it tells us we can speak, read and write Common and Elvish and one extra language of your choice. And we see that we've already got Common and Elvish has been selected for us. And we've got one other choice here. If we click on this, we get a list of languages, and Common and Elvish has been filtered out of here. So we can't select it again. So let's pick Dwarvish. And again, our red exclamation mark is gone because we have completed this. But we can still go back in and change this at any time if we decided that we didn't want to speak Elvish for some reason but spoke as Celestial. Then we can change that. It's completely up to you how you create your character and how your DM allows you to create your character. The next one is skill versatility, and we do the same kind of thing again. It says you gain proficiency in 2 skills of your choice. So again, we select the drop down here. If we select acrobatics and then go to this one, the next one, we see that acrobatics has been filtered out of the list. We can no longer select acrobatics. Let's take history. If we go back into this one here, we can see that history has now been removed. So these lists, the skill list and the languages list and this kind of thing, are quite dynamic, and they will, as we can see when we come through to backgrounds, this has an impact there as well. So at any rate, we've made all the choices now. We have no more red exclamation marks down the left-hand side here, and we can see that we've got a green tick. So it means that we have done everything that we need to do. We can still go back and edit it, of course, or we can even go back to here and change the race altogether. So at this stage, nothing is set in stone. We can still go back and edit anything and everything. If we now have a look at classes, and we've got exactly the same sort of idea here, let's select the player's handbook just to reduce the list a little bit. But we can swap between that. We can swap into Xanathar's. We can go to our campaign. Anything that you have here, you can filter on, and it'll just filter out the ones that you have in those books. And it's the same thing here again. Let's select the cleric. And once we open that up, we have a bunch of these symbols down the left-hand side. Once again, our red exclamation marks. So we know we have got to pick some proficiencies here. So let's open this up, and it tells us in here what our proficiencies are, what our saving throws and all that kind of thing. And then we get to select skills, and it will only show you the skills here that the cleric is allowed to take. So we've got 4 here: insight, medicine, persuasion and religion. So let's take medicine. And when we select the second one, medicine has been filtered out. So let's pick religion. And if we go back to this one, you can see that, it's filtering out everything that you have chosen from the list so that you can't take it twice. Then we get our divine domain. And again, we do the same kind of thing. And again, we get a good description straight out of the player's handbook or whatever source this is from as to what the divine domain actually means. We go in here and we get the specializations. Now this is a list of all the specializations from all the books that we have open. So this isn't just the player's handbook, this is the ones from Xanathar's guide as well. So let's pick the Blythe domain. And we now have a green tick here with our class. We have done everything that we need to do here. Now, we can, at this stage, select our spells. We can also add a class. So if you were multi-classing, this is how you would add a class, and this is how you would do it if you were leveling up, which we'll look at a bit later. But anyway, let's have a look at the spells screen now. So if we click on spells, it tells us here features and spells. We're now spells is lit up, and it shows the cantrips which we have known as 3. And then we've got our spells 0 and 1. So obviously 0 cantrips, 1 is first level spells. So if we look at the cantrips first, and again, same thing, we just click on the green thing. So we click on guidance here. It now shows you that guidance is in here. We know guidance. If we pick spare the dying and toll the dead, then we know that we've got these 3 cantrips are available to us. If we don't want this, we maybe don't want spare the dying, we can delete it. It brings it back into here. It reduces the number of spells here, and we can click another one, and that puts it all back up into there. So you can, at any time, you can change out the spells, you can remove a spell, add a new one or whatever. If we then click on the 1 to show first level spells, we've got a page 1 of 2 here, so we've got more spells than we can fit into the screen originally. And we're free now to pick whatever spells that we want from here. And if we go up to the known thing and click 1 here, it's showing you the spells as we pick them as coming back coming up here and showing it. So these are the known cantrips. These are the cantrips that we can choose from. These are the known spells, and these are the ones that we can choose from. And as I say, at any time you can come in and you can remove spells, etc., and change that out quite easily. Okay, then let's move on to abilities. Now this screen is really quite interesting. We've got the final result, if you like, up here at the top. Here we've got our base statistics, so we start at 10. We've got a race line here, and this is showing us what bonuses that we're getting from our race. We've got an ASI, which is our ability score increase. So if we had one, these numbers would show up here. We've got a miscellaneous, and we've got an override as well. So this is going to give you complete and utter control over ability scores. You can do whatever the hell you like here, and it will all just work. Up at the top here, we can select our method. If we select the standard array, then it's just going to put in from 15 down, and it will add in our bonus. So this one here is the base. This is our standard array, 15, 14, 13, 12. This is our final result. If we don't like this, we don't, obviously we're going to be, we're a cleric, so we don't want to have epoxy 10 wisdom. We actually want to have this as our highest score. So we just drag this from here and drop it into our wisdom. And we've now swapped our strength with wisdom, and you can do this with everything. And we might want a bit more charisma. We maybe don't want to say that. We can change that around whatever way you like. And these figures here that are getting added to, so our +2 is getting added here to our 15, and our +1 is getting added here to our 13. Now down at the bottom here, we've got this override thing. So if we wanted a wisdom of 18, we can just type in 18 into there, and it's going to stay where it is. And it doesn't matter what we do, we can move these figures around here, and that's going to make absolutely no difference to that 18. This is basically going to override that, so that's fixed now at 18. If we take it back out, then obviously it goes back and recalculates it. So whatever statistics you like, whatever abilities you like, it's all clear, nice, simple, shown here. And you've got full control as to what the abilities you want for each of your statistics. And once you're done, you get a green tick and we're all good to go. Just to show you, you've also got the manual or the dice roller. You just roll the dice, it'll roll the usual 4d6 and drop lowest, or you can have a point buy, and you can do it all for that as well. But I'm not going to go do too much more here. You can play around with this yourself, but this screen just allows you to do whatever you like with your stats. If we go to background now, and pretty much the same thing here, we just pick a background. It's the same stuff. We can filter out. We've only got the player's handbook. It's the only thing we've got open here that have got backgrounds. So it doesn't matter what we pick in this case. Let's pick a soldier. And we can see here that we've got a red exclamation mark, and that's because we need to pick a gaming set. We need to pick a tool proficiency. So we just do the same as what we would do. And if we had picked, and I don't know, I can't remember what they're all are, but if we had picked something, which let's pick the acolyte. Yes. So if we pick the acolyte here, if we open up this, the acolyte gives us insight, but we have already picked insight in our class selection. So this is showing us here that we've already got insight, so we might want to select something else. So you can go in here and you can select, let's say, deception or something like that. And then when we look in here, deception is gone. Let's go for with investigation. So that means that you don't accidentally take duplicate skills or whatever, because the skill list is filtered out and it keeps you right. And we've got this thing here for languages, so we just need to pick a couple of languages, and the languages is the same. Once we've picked Draconic as our first, it doesn't appear in the list again. We can take Elvish, and that's it. We're good to go. So that's a fairly simple screen, and now we come to the equipment. You have got two methods here of equipping your character. You can select our starter kit here, which just follows what was in the player's handbook or whatever source. If we click on this, it shows you what's in your inventory currently. These are things that you just get. And then you've got things like your background kit, your choice, and you just click on these. You've got class kits for your um, uh, weapons. You just click on the green, and bear in mind you've got pair 1 and 2. So you just click on the green crosses to select it. And if you don't like it, if you make a mistake, just click on the red dots here and it'll remove it and you can select something else. And you can go through that and you can check all of that up. Or if you want to do that, you can do your starting wealth. You can click on this, then you can roll for how much money that you have, and then you can click on here to add items, and you can filter this out with gear, etc. If we click on that, we can see what all of that is. Click on the down arrows to add stuff. Go into weapons, click on the down arrows, etc. Go to armor. You can see where we're going with all of this. Now it doesn't calculate how much gold that you're spending or anything like that. So you know you need to do that. However, your dungeon master allows you to equip in this method. But we'll just go and we can go back in here and just change this again. We'll go to the starting kit and we'll just make a few selections here, and eventually um, we'll get our green tick to say that we have completed our inventory, and we still have the option to add items at the end of this. We're not necessarily restricted to just this. If your dungeon master allows, then additional equipment can then be added. So we're really done here. So we commit the character, we click on the commit button, and we are now given a screen which summarizes everything that we did. It's selected, tells us what race, background, class, what languages, skills that we took, the features that we have, any feats that we had, proficiencies, traits, etc. All of this is summarized in this screen. And we can give our character a name, and then we can just click save. And if we had, I should have really deliberately shown you that, but in the previous screen, if there was something that you hadn't done, if you clicked save and you hadn't done something, then it would give you a warning, a big warning to say, look, you haven't completed background or you haven't selected something from your class, and it would throw you back into that. But I forgot to demonstrate that, so you'll just have to take my word for it. And of course, when we get to the final screen here, then you can see all the spells that we chose, etc. are there. Our inventory is all there, so everything's all good to go. Okay, this video has gone on for far too long, so hopefully that's useful to you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers for now.